It's pretty bad. There really isn't much in there.
Lee Rosen used to get about $260 a month in food assistance. Earlier this year, the 69-year-old Phoenix resident started getting nothing.
It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of.
Yep, that's what she said.
I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok, and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents? If you're watching this
I have 2,000 followers on TikTok, and I can't get one person to send me 50 cents.
video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
Come on in. I told y'all this was going to happen, but there's a price to pay for this. So 4.7 million people nationwide are losing their SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps. This is all because of that bill, that beautiful bill that was signed. People are struggling. Now, I'm going to give you two sides of the coin here. There are going to be people that you're going to see in here who don't want to hear your sob story about you needing food stamps. And then there are going to be people in here who actually have empathy for the fact that you need to feed your children. And I would love to know where y'all stand on that, on what's going on, because it's bad for a lot of people and it's about to get even worse. Food banks cannot handle everything that's happening right now. So what's going on is these cuts are taking place. They're government cuts, and it's forcing the state to pick up the rest. Well, many states cannot afford to pick up the remainder of what the federal does not do. There are new work requirements that have to be met, as well as housing information. You got to turn in your lease. You got to, if you're looking for work, you have to have those people sign that paperwork. And then there are cuts to the actual offices. So even if you are turning your paperwork in for reinstatement or applying for the first time, if it's not done within the 30-day period, if it's not processed, you got to start that process all over again. So while it may look like a lot of people are no longer applying for food stamps, and yay, that's good, right? People are off of food stamps. That's not the case. They are applying, and they're either getting turned down or there's not enough staff to process the paperwork. So it looks like no one's really applying when they actually are. The need is still there, and the need is way worse than it's ever been. The need today compared to the need in 2025 and before that, the food banks are saying they don't know how they're going to handle it, because so many people who maybe used to rely on the food bank once a month are now there once a week. And there are limits that to the food bank and what they give you, and what they can give you is based off of their donations. And if donations aren't looking good, because most of the people that used to donate are now needing the food bank. This is going to affect the elderly, of course.
69-year-old Phoenix resident started getting nothing, and he's not the only one.
Nearly 460,000 people in Arizona have been kicked off the federal food assistance program since Congress passed new restrictions last summer. That is a 50% drop, and the problem could get a lot worse.
That's because H.R. 1, also known as the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, introduced strict work requirements for SNAP eligibility and shifted program costs onto state budgets.
H.R. 1 included the deepest SNAP cuts in history. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that the changes in that law will cut SNAP by about $187 billion over the next decade.
For Rosen, that means he can't afford to buy items like meat. For others, it means turning to food pantries, which are already struggling to keep up with increased demand.
Since July of last year, when the bill was passed, we've seen a consistent growth of about 10 to 12% month over month, and roughly about 20 to 30% increase of people coming in and needing food from the food pantries and food banks that we serve. About 20 to 30% increase for those individuals year over year. Once
a person gets kicked off the SNAP program, it's often hard to get back on. The Arizona Department of Economic Security canceled Rosen's SNAP benefits when he didn't report $47 that he made working his first and only shift at a discount retail store. When he tried calling the state to get his benefits back, he couldn't get through. Federal funding cuts forced DES to slash hundreds of jobs, and now it can't keep up with the backlog of SNAP applications and appeals.
We're concerned that Arizona may be the kind of the canary in the coal mine, and that we might see some growing and much steeper declines in SNAP participation in other states as some of those changes in policy and procedure play out.
The single mom. So I don't want to get deep into the detail of the thing, but this is what's going to happen in the end times with this. It's going to make those people more susceptible to taking that in the hand and the forehead, because no one will be able to buy or sell without taking the mark of the beast. And who better to do it with than people you're controlling with food? Because if you control the food, you control the people. And so I'm for, if you need help, go get help. But if you're abusing the help from people that really do need the help, then you need to get off. We all are down and out at times, and we need a little help. But there are people who have been on it for years and years and years, and they're healthy. So it takes away from the elderly who have worked maybe their whole lives and who still are working. I had a man help me in the Lowe's when I was building my fire pit, and he was like, "Oh, I can help you put this on the back of your truck." I felt bad because this man had to have been in his 80s or late 70s, and he's lifting these bricks. And I was like, "I got it, sir, I got it." He was like, "No, that's my job." People are having to work way into their supposedly retirement age just to try to make a little bit of ends meet. So I definitely have empathy for those who need help, because I was once that person who needed that help. When I was a young parent, I needed that help. But it is to help you get back on your feet. And what the government does is it gets people comfortable with being where they are, and then they pull the rug out from under people, and people are crashing out. They don't know any other life because maybe that's how they grew up. Maybe their parent was on it, and they saw that lifestyle and they got on that lifestyle of it. But people are crashing out. And so keep your head on a swivel when you're out in these grocery stores, because you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know who's been denied something, or who feels, a certain kind of way, like they supposed to have something. People do get entitled and feel entitled when they've been getting something, and then the government pulls it away. And the government is pulling it away at this moment, in my opinion, is because they know that mark, that everything's switching over. Mind you, food stamps used to be paper, and now they are on a card. So it's already digital. They don't have to make that digital. They're switching everything to digital. So if I take this away from them by the millions, and people get desperate enough, they will accept anything. So this is why I'm saying, if you are healthy enough to hopefully try to get off of those food stamps, your family will be better off for it, because you still may struggle. Don't get me twisted or wrong. You will struggle from time to time, but what you won't be is relying on them to feed your family, because it's going to come with something. Nothing is free. I don't care if they say it's free. You feel it's free. It comes to you on your car. You go out every month and you load up. If you got it right now, load up your house, because it's going to get cut. And then in order for you to get it back, you're going to have to take that mark. And that's just my opinion. That's not the Holy Spirit speaking to me. That's me speaking out, telling you this is what I see coming down the line. We know that you cannot buy or sell. The Bible tells us this, and they are showing us that you will not be able to buy or sell without that mark. And the first people that are going to get that mark, in my opinion, are going to be people who need help getting food. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And prayers and blessings, I send those out, because it's hard right now on a lot of people, including me. It is hard. And so we have to stay in prayer. We have to have faith that God will provide. Yes, He will. And we have to continue to work. We have to continue to work. Faith without works is dead.